Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is kind of like the first impressions slash swatches and mini reviews about the Tarte Rainforest After Dark palette. This is a limited edition palette. I wouldn't call it a totally review because I just got it yesterday. If you are following me on Instagram and Facebook, you know that I just got it last night. So I will not call it a review. Honestly guys, initially I was thinking like maybe I will use it for a few days and then I will put up a whole review. But then I thought that this is a limited edition palette. If I want to try it out, and by the time I put that video up, that will be out of stock. Rather, I thought like I will just do a kind of like first impression and thorough swatches on the palette and let you guys know like how it works. Honestly guys, I was not initially thinking of getting this palette at all. So day before yesterday, I went to the Sephora VIP Rouge event. There I swatched this palette and I really like the quality of the shadows, and I really like how compact it is, because you know sometimes you get some palettes where you get the blush or bronzer and eyeshadows and they miss the highlighter, or sometimes you have the highlighter but that miss the bronzer. But this palette is so small and sleek, but it includes one blush, one highlighter, one bronzer and the regular neutral eyeshadows. So that really caught my eyes because initially I was like, okay, this is a nude palette, do I need another nude palette in my life? But then I thought like it can be a very good travel friendly palette because I don't have to carry a separate blush, bronzer or the highlighter. I can remember, you know, last time in last holiday collection, the Too Faced palette they came up with, I forgot the name, that was with the pink bag. That's a great palette, but that one has like two bronzer, two blushes and few eyeshadows. So you really lack a highlighter. So I took it one time with my SF crepe, and at that time I remember that I had to carry a separate highlighter for that because that whole palette, the giant palette, didn't suffice my need for the highlighter. Also like the Tarte palette, the last Tarte palette, I can remember that was also the holiday palette. Like they had four blushes and one bronzer. You know what they could have done is like they could have just made it 3 blushes, 1 highlighter and 1 bronzer. That would make an entire face palette. So when I saw this palette, I really, you know, thought that it can be a great travel palette because you don't have to carry separately any bronzer, blush or highlighter, and it is so sleek. So it looks like this, and it has a beautiful, you know, shiny snake on that. I really like the packaging. Even my husband was telling about this packaging that this is really good. So he generally doesn't comment on that. So this palette has the Park Avenue bronzer and a champagne highlighter. I think the highlighter is called champagne. The only thing I don't like is all the names are written in this flimsy plastic cover, and I'm definitely gonna lose this one because they could have just, you know, written the names somewhere in the palette or at the back of the palette. Anyways, and the blush name is Unleashed. So this blush is a very neutral, everyday mauve pink. So it has a tad bit of mauve tone. I think they have focused, this is a fall palette, so they focused on the fall colors, but at the same time they kept it very neutral and, you know, for day-to-day wear. So the Park Avenue Princess bronzer is the lighter one. They have another one that is called Heroine, I believe. That is a little bit darker, but this is great for almost like all skin tone. Even I'm wearing it today and it works perfectly. This highlighter is beautiful. This one is called Champagne. I will swatch all of them together, but I'm just talking about them separately. So this highlighter is amazing. I have even used it one time with my eyeshadows. Yesterday I was just playing with that, and it really works great as a brow bone highlighter. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today and down the bridge of my nose, and this highlighter is really great. So you can wear it all over your lid, or you can, you know, just use it on your face as a highlighter. And it includes 6 eyeshadows, and they are beautiful, like all neutral eyeshadows. And this is pretty sleek. As you can see, the thickness is pretty sleek. So you can just, you know, pop it into your bag and you can carry it like for any travel. So let me swatch it for you guys. I will start with the eyeshadow, and this one is called, I believe, Mehr to Explore. This is really hard to keep this flimsy thing, because I'm definitely gonna lose this one. So Bare to Explore, here it is. So honestly guys, when I was wearing this look today, so I am wearing it on my eyes today, and even on my face, the bronzer, blush and the highlighter, everything is from this palette. So that's why I was kind of hesitating to call it first impression, because I have already used it. I'm not using it in front of the camera, but that's just my first time using this one, so it will be kind of like what I have realized while I was doing my makeup. I will just speak to that. So this one, I think like on my skin tone it works more as a matte highlighter, but if you have lighter skin tone, maybe you can use it as a transition color for cool tone eyeshadows, but for me it just works as a matte highlighter. It has kind of a pinky undertone, but it's beautiful. The eyeshadow blends very smoothly and it's very pigmented. The next one, I don't know what the name is, every time I have to look at that. This one is Mauve. So it is, the color really caught my eyes when I first saw this palette. So this one is a beautiful, like, what should I say, pewtery mauve color with some silver undertone to it. But this is not the most pigmented eyeshadow from this palette. So I'm wearing it all over my lid today. I really like this shadow, but this one is not the most pigmented one. As you can see, I am swatching it. Just one swipe here and it doesn't show up that much. So I had to really layer it up to make this color on my eyes. The next one is the plummy one. Here it is. What's the name? This one is called Plum Away With Me. So this one and the next one, the golden one, are the ones that caught my eyes while I was swatching it and playing with them at Sephora. So these two are really pigmented from this palette. So here it is. It's a beautiful plum color. So I'm wearing it on my outer V today, and I dragged it a little bit on my crease. So it's a beautiful plum color. You can wear it all over your lid during the fall or winter time. It will look great. Like, it can make a beautiful plummy smoky eye. But other than that, when you are wearing neutral eyeshadows, you can just, you know, deepen up the outer V with this color. And the golden one now. This is the most pigmented one. This one is called Up to No Gold. So here it is. It's just one swipe, as you can see. So it reminds me of M.A.C Gold Rush and a little bit of, what should I say, MakeupGeek. There is another one. There is a gold one from MakeupGeek as well. So it reminds me of that, but I think like this one is more pigmented and this one has like more gold to it. It is like, it's not on the bronzy side, it is more on the gold side, but at the same time it is not like too yellow that makes it like, you know, really hard to wear. So this is very wearable. Like it is the golden eyeshadow that is really golden, but a little bit on the muted side, if that makes sense. So that makes it really wearable. I really like this shade. Next one is the transition color of this palette, and it's a soft light brown matte transition color. I'm really glad that they have included a matte transition color in this palette. That really completes this palette. So here is the swatch. I don't know whether you can see because I'm really tan, and this one is called Tangled Up in You. But honestly guys, when I was trying to make this look, I found it really difficult to use it as a transition color on my skin tone because it hardly shows up on my skin tone. Rather, I have found that if I use this Park Avenue Princess bronzer as my transition color, it works great. So if you have lighter skin tone, you can use it, but if you have a skin tone like me or a little bit darker than me, then you might find this bronzer rather helpful than this transition color, because this is a tad bit lighter for my skin tone. The last one is the dark brown, and this is the last eyeshadow, and this one is called Don't Turn a Brown. The names are pretty fancy. I really like that they have included a deep brown. It's almost like black, but they haven't included any black because that would make the whole palette a little bit, you know, bold, because I think the whole theme was to make it a little bit neutral and more wearable. Like, I think this one is more focused on the, you know, daytime palette. So this one is the dark brown one. I forgot the name. Don't Turn a Brown. Oh my god, those are mouthful names, but those are fancy. So you can use it as an eyeliner to make it you know, softer look, or you can just use it to, you know, deepen up your outer V with the other brown colors or the taupe colors. So this is a beautiful matte brown. So other than this mauve taupe color, what's the name? You know, I forgot. Make it Mauve. Yes, so other than this color, I'm really happy with the other 5 shades they have included. This is a very pretty color. You just have to layer it up. Maybe you can use a cream eyeshadow underneath or a primer that will intensify the color a little bit, but other than that, the other 5 shadows are really pigmented, and the matte shadows like these 3 are really pigmented, but they are not chalky at all, not even powdery. So I really like the consistency of these eyeshadows other than this one. So now let's swatch the blush. The blush here has a pretty decent size. I think it's not a full size, but it has a pretty decent size, and it's a beautiful mauve pink. Initially I was a little bit scared that whether it's gonna look too, you know, too light on my skin tone, whether it's gonna show up on my skin tone. Sometimes, you know, the lighter pink blushes on darker skin tone, they look a little bit chalky or ashy, but this one really blends well, and I'm currently wearing it on my cheeks. It can be a very wearable day-to-day mauve pink blush. I can see myself wearing it a lot during this coming fall and winter months. So here it is. I'm sorry guys, my swatches are all over the place. So here it is. It's really difficult to see a blush on your hand, I know, but I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. The last 2 are the bronzer and the highlighter. The highlighter is called Champagne. So it's a beautiful pearly highlighter, but it has a yellow undertone. So I'll not say it's champagne color, it's more on the pearl side, but it has a tad bit of yellow undertone. That makes it really wearable for the brown or darker skin tone. You know, sometimes the white highlighters, that looks a little bit ashy on the brown or darker skin tone, but since it has a yellow undertone to it, a tad bit of yellow undertone, it makes it really wearable for the brown or darker skin tone. Like I'm wearing it today on my cheeks and down the bridge of my nose. As you can see that this is not overpowering. It's a great highlighter. It is very pigmented, but it is not too shimmery, so it makes it really wearable for the daytime. And I was playing with it yesterday, and kind of like, you know, I was playing with it on my eyelid as well, and I found that like it looks really great all over the eyelid. So you can just put it all over the eyelid and then, you know, blend it with the transition color, and it can be a very neutral everyday daytime look. So this is a very great everyday highlighter. I think the whole purpose of this palette is that to make it a neutral everyday palette. So it is not something that that will be, you know, good for like night out event or, you know, the party time things, but this is more like the everyday palette, and this still looks amazing. Like the highlighter is not overpowering at all. The last is their famous Park Avenue Princess bronzer. This is the lighter one among the 2 they have, I believe. So I don't know whether you can see, because this is really hard to see on my hand, because my hand is a little bit darker than my face. This one is great for soft contouring, especially for brown or darker skin tone, but if you have lighter skin tone, you can do, you know, intense contouring with that. But for my skin tone, or if you are a little bit darker than me, it can be a great bronzer for soft contouring or, you know, bronzing all over your face. But if you want to go for very intense contouring, this might not work for you. But I think the whole purpose of this palette is to make it a very wearable, you know, wearable look. So you will definitely not go for intense contouring if you are going for a daytime wearable neutral look. So keeping that thing in mind, I think they have included this light bronzer here, because the darker one they have, that's really dark, even dark for my skin tone as well. I really find it difficult to, you know, contour with that. So this is a great bronzer. Like it blends very nicely. I already have it in my another palette, so this is kind of redundant, but that's good, because when I'm carrying this palette, I don't have to think about, you know, carrying another separate bronzer, because it really works nice. So overall, I really like this palette so far, though I have got it only for a day, so it will not be a very, you know, in-depth review, because I am still playing with that. But I really wanted to put this video up because so that you can see the swatches. If you are planning to get this palette, you can have an idea how this one looks and how the shadows are. Though I have to play a little bit more to give an in-depth review. Maybe in my future videos I will give you guys an update how it's working. But I really wanted to put this video up up so that you can see like how this palette is if you are planning to get this one. And the packaging is really cute. I really like this packaging. Like it's very sleek, and the snake, and it has a, what's that called? Like a purpley stone. What's the name of that? Emerald is green, and the purple one, what do you call that stone? Which is purple. Oh, it's not coming on my pen. Anyways, ruby is maroon, emerald is green. Which one is the purple one among stone? Amethyst? Anyways, guys, so it has a beautiful purple stone to it, and overall the packaging is really sleek and nice. So I really like it, like especially for traveling, it will be a very handy palette for me. I'll give you guys a more in-depth review maybe in my future videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll get back to you soon with more videos. Bye bye.